Hello guys, so this is going to be the first NBA playoff slate breakdown for April 19th for the Friday slate. So we got 3 games: Toronto, Orlando, Boston, Indy, Portland, and OKC. Starting off with point guard, Russell Westbrook going to be one of my favorite plays on this slate, just because OKC's down 0-2 right now. They're going back to at home, so Westbrook and Paul George are going to be two guys I think playing together in the same lineup makes a whole lot of sense. I think both of them are going to have really strong games here, so I really like them both. Westbrook 10-2 is just still too cheap, and this is going to be really just pretty much a must-win game for OKC here. They're at home. They can't afford to go down 0-3. I just think that they're going to be able to win this game. So Russell Westbrook, one of my favorite plays, and then Damian Lillard, 9.1K, another great play here. OKC, they're not really that good defensively. Portland's just been playing really well. Even though I think OKC can win this game, I think Portland, just knowing that everything comes from Lillard, CJ, Canner, he's going to still do really well, and his price is up a little bit, but still 9.1K in this fast-paced matchup, best game environment on the slate. I still like Lillard a whole lot. Kyrie Irving, 8.9K. I think this is definitely, a way tougher game, slower pace for both teams, and he's going to be at home, but Kyrie on the road doesn't really make a difference for him. He's 8.9K here. Indy, again, solid defensively, but in the playoffs, Kyrie's going to get a lot of playing time. He's the main guy. He's been dominating all the shots, so I think Kyrie and Lillard are kind of close. I probably lean a little bit towards Lillard just because of the game environment, but I think they're really neck and neck here, and I definitely will go down to Kyrie if I need that 200. Next is Kyle Lowry, 6.8K, more of a GPP play, just because he isn't as safe, because sometimes in the playoffs he's just not as good. He had a great game last time, so maybe he doesn't do as well or something, because 22 points isn't something that we're going to really see from Kyle Lowry. He shot pretty well, 8 for 13. Usually doesn't really shoot that many times actually when Kawhi's on the floor, so this is going to be an away game for them. Orlando, good defensive team, but in the playoffs, definitely Toronto's, they showed up last game, and this game's going to be away for them now. But Kyle Lowry, just a ball handler here. I think 6.8K is kind of cheap for Lowry, even though we're probably not going to see the same type of scoring performance that he got, but still worth a shot for GPPs. Next is Dennis Schroder, very GPP now. 5.2K. Role players play better at home. We know that in the playoffs. And Schroder, he has not had a good series. Last game, he lost minutes actually. Ferguson played 30 because they wanted his defense out there more. But I think at home, if Schroder can have a really good offensive game, like if he has a really good first stint off the bench, he's going to be up over 30 minutes probably, or at least close to 30. And he's going to be taking a whole lot more shots than just 5 last game. He shot 17 times in the first game. Probably not that many times, but somewhere in the middle, around maybe like 12. Definitely can see that happen. And he's 5.2K. His price has been dropping a little bit, and he doesn't have the best rebounding and assist upside because he's more of a scoring guard. But at home, 5.2K, gonna be low owned because he hasn't been playing that well. He's worth a shot at GPPs. Darren Collison, 4.6K. He hasn't had a good series either. He's more of a pick and roll guy, and Miles Turner hasn't been playing that well, so it kind of affects him too. But they're going back at home, down 0-2. I think Indiana is going to win one game at least, and it's either going to be this or next game. So Collison, Miles Turner, these guys that have had down series, I think they're going to show up sometime, and I think it's definitely worth a shot to take on this slate, just because it is the playoffs, and if you're playing multiple lineups, you got to have variation. And Collison, he's only 4.6K now. It's really cheap for a starting point guard. He has upside. He has 40 plus upside here, so he has close to like 9 x value. So I definitely want to shot at Collison at home. And then same thing with Fred VanVleet. He hasn't had a good series, but we know he has upside. 4.3K. He's on the road, but he's a guy that's shown that he's still been able to be a very productive guy whatever the situation is. So I like VanVleet. Price is down. Same thing with Collison, although he doesn't get as many minutes. Shooting guard, CJ McCollum, 6.9K at the top. He's definitely increasing his price because he's playing really well. But again, he's probably going to see his mid-high 30s in minutes. And he gets staggered with Lillard, so I like him when he's ball handling. He has a lot of assist upside too when he does that. And rebounds have been up. He definitely isn't that great of a rebounder, but he's definitely been crashing the glass a lot if you've been watching these games, and he's been getting a lot of shot attempts. But I think Enes Kanter can definitely take away a little bit from CJ and Lillard here, because Kanter hurt his wrist. We don't know if he's going to be good or not, but I think he will be, and he definitely is going to probably have a better game, going to be playing more minutes than last time. So I think that could take away from McCollum and Lillard just because of the scoring, but definitely assist upside is going to be there for them. And again, it's still Lillard and McCollum. They're the main guys on this team. Next, Terrence Ross, 5K. He's cheap. He's going back home, and 5K. He has tremendous scoring upside. If he can get some rebounds and assists, chip in that way, and we're gonna get like a hot shooting Terrence Ross game. 5K is gonna be too cheap for this guy because he can have 40 plus upside. He's actually got 50, but probably not gonna see that happen because Toronto's not the same kind of team as Charlotte. They play slower. They're a lot better defensively. So Terrence Ross 5K though on a slate where it's only 3 games, you can take a shot on him for GPPs only. And then Wesley Matthews 3.9K. Again, role players play better at home. He's kind of a veteran, but he really isn't like the main guy. And so when you pick Wesley Matthews, you're basically hoping that he can catch fire shooting, and he hasn't been shooting that well. But again, all it takes is for him to knock down a couple threes, and we know he's a pretty solid defender, so he can get you some steals or blocks. And then he's actually been getting like quite a few assists recently somehow. So if he can do that, get some rebounds too, and then just knock down some threes, he can definitely be well worth it at only 3.9K. And if he's playing well, it definitely can get a few extra minutes. So when you see that he's only been hitting high 20s, he can definitely creep up into the low 30s. And then next, very GPP now is Terence Ferguson. Same thing about the role players playing better at home. If he shoots well, which he's not afraid to take threes, he can definitely be a good play just because he's going to earn minutes that way, and he's a lot better of a defender than Dennis Schroder. He does have a lot of foul trouble that you have to worry about, but I think he definitely has some upside, and there's nobody in this price range down low here that has the same kind of minutes that Ferguson could possibly get. So I like Ferguson just for that reason, but really, if I'm making only one lineup, there's no way I'm going to Ferguson. Next, small forward Paul George, my favorite play on the slate, 8.7K. Way too cheap. He's playing over 40 minutes. They're going to need him out there. He looked a lot better just shooting the ball last game. And I think this game's going to stay a lot closer. It's not going to be a blowout like last time, which he actually lost like 2-3 minutes, I believe, in the fourth. So his price actually went down. His upside is tremendous. We know what kind of player he is. He's a top 5 MVP candidate. He's been rebounding really well. He can get you a double-double. He's a tremendous defender. He can get a lot of steals. So this guy, I think he can get you over 50 plus DraftKings points with possibility up to like 70, really. I just really love him this game just because of the circumstances. And then Kawhi, 8.2K. I just rather get to George for only 500 more. But if you're making multiple lineups, again, definitely with a shot to take on Kawhi just in case maybe like OKC blows Portland out or something crazy happens. But Kawhi, he's not going to play as many minutes. He doesn't have the same kind of rebounding upside as George. So Kawhi definitely still, he's another underpriced player, but I just think George is more underpriced than Kawhi. And Kawhi, we know his upside too. If George, like his shoulder or something happens to him again, he has to leave the game, something like that, then Kawhi can definitely be the play for small forward, but George, definitely prefer him over Kawhi. Next, Johnathan Isaac. He had a horrible game. He's pretty high owned last game. Shot 1 of 8, 0 for 6 from 3. He didn't really get any steals or blocks, which he usually does because he's a tremendous shot blocker. His rebounds weren't there last game, but I think going home definitely can help him. Blowout hurt him too. He didn't earn as many minutes. The price is down now, and I think he's going to be low owned. So kind of another one of those targets where you can get a low owned guy just because of recency bias. But again, GPPs. And then Mo Harkless. I'd prefer Harkless over Isaac actually because Portland's definitely wanted Harkless out there just because of his defense on Paul George. Away, sure, but Harkless, his minutes have seemed a lot safer. That 22 was because of foul trouble, and he earned 29 even in that blowout, so he's going to get over 30 minutes regardless. He gets you defensive stats pretty much every game, gets you multiple steals and blocks, and he's not going to really get assists, but he can rebound the ball very well. He can be a guy that can get you a lot of easy putbacks around the rim, layups, cuts. He can knock down some threes, like short corner threes, something like that. 1.5k. Definitely can do worse than that. And then Danny Green's okay, but he's not really something that I want. And then power forward, we got Pascal Siakam, 7.3k. He's got upside just because of the minutes that he's going to play. Like, we usually will see him play high 30s, but he's actually been hitting like 40s. He probably would have played 40 again last game if not for the blowout. He has double-double upside. He's a tremendous scorer, most improved player. He can knock down threes. He takes quite a few shots. He's a good defensive player, so he probably will get you some blocks and steals there too. 7.3k, still a very nice price tag for him. Aaron Gordon feels a little cheap at 6.2k. Probably go Gordon over Siakam actually, because Toronto likes to double Vucevic in the paint, and they've been doing that and it's been working, so I don't think they would change it, because why would they? And Gordon is at 6.2k. The price drop is kind of, I don't know, I guess it's right because he got 31.8, which would be about 5x, but he plays a lot better at home, and he averages 35 at home, so this price would be cheaper, or be a little bit too cheap. And he can get you double-digit rebounds. He's pretty fairly consistent, getting around 30. So like, if his floor is gonna be 5x with a ceiling of like 7, 8, or whatever, he can definitely be a great play. 6.2k if you're trying to game stack this for some reason, which I don't think is the best idea. But obviously, if it could blow up, or going to overtime, you want to stack this. It makes sense to have Aaron Gordon just because he is so cheap. Next, Elfrid Payton. OKC gives up a lot to power forwards and point guards, shooting guards. So, Aminu, his minutes have been down. I think he was in foul trouble last game and then blowout, so he didn't get as many minutes. But he's a guy that gets you double-doubles. His price is a little bit expensive for my liking, but we've seen if he can just shoot well, and if Canner's not right, or like Canner's in foul trouble, something like that, we can see Aminu definitely getting more rebounds. He's probably going to play center because they have Myers Leonard, Zach Collins, so they'll continue playing Aminu at the 4 only. But he's a guy that can get you double-double, get you steals and blocks, knock down some threes. So he has nice upside, really, but his floor is pretty low. And then Marcus Morris, he was a total bust last game. 4.6k high owned. If he plays well, he'll get minutes. That's why I only got 21 last game. He's a guy that can show up on the road, and he's not going to score 0 points again. He's probably not going to go 0 for 8 unless he gets ejected or something crazy happens. So I really like Marcus Morris just because of recency bias. He's going to be low owned. When he is shooting well, he can get you, those rebounds and get you like 8 rebounds or something with like 15 points, 15 and 8, a couple threes, blocks and steals, maybe like a 1 or 2 assists. That's going to be close to like 30 DraftKings points, which is going to be excellent for only 4.7k. And then center, I like Enes Kanter, 6.5k. Really high on last time. Only played 20 minutes. I think this game, if he gets back to his normal, like he was in foul trouble too. So if he's healthy, he's getting his minutes. He definitely has the kind of crazy upside that we saw first game. So he's not going to be as high owned because he did bad last game. But if he's perfectly fine starting, I definitely want some shares of Enes Kanter. And then Steven Adams, 5.9k, going back at home. Westbrook Adams, a nice correlation because of their pick and rolls. Adams will play mid-30s in minutes. He can get you a double-double. He's a good defender, blocks, steals, all that. Nice, just easy layups, putbacks, dunks. 5.9k seems like a good price for him. And then Miles Turner, 5.7k. I think he's a nice correlation with Darren Collison. I think they're both a little cheap. They're both playing at home. I like the matchup, or not really the matchup, but just their prices in the situation, because they are down 0-2. They're going back at home. Both of them haven't been playing that well, so I can see them stepping up and having some solid games here. And then Marcus Gasol, probably one of the more chalkier centers on the slate because he's been playing, or trying to match the playing time with Vucevic. Last game was a blowout. So Gasol, even in 22 minutes, he got 29.8, which is over 5x. So 5.5k, again, really cheap. He definitely will get you over 3 rebounds. He got there because of his steals, but he's a really good passing big man. He can definitely shoot. He can knock down threes. He probably should take more shots than 5, especially if he's going to get more minutes, which he should. I do expect Orlando to keep this one closer than last time because they're at home. So Gasol feels a little bit underpriced because I think he'll play closer to 30 or over 30 minutes in this one. So favorite plays: Russell Westbrook, Paul George. Definitely, if you think you don't want to play both of these studs on from the same team, I think I lean towards Paul George here. But I definitely want to play both of them, and then maybe try to get some of that Portland exposure because you're running it with 2 OKC players. If you try to go with Lillard, it's going to be really pricey. You're not going to have a whole lot of value to fit everyone in because value is pretty thin here. Because if you're playing 4.4, you're playing this lineup with only 4.4k remaining, you're going to have to play guys under 4.4k, which there weren't a lot that I like Ferguson, which is so GPP and has such a low floor, foul trouble, everything. That's not something that I want. So maybe you try to go with CJ McCollum and take that savings, and then you have a little bit more money to work with. So then here you can go with like Darren Collison, and then Marcus Morris, and then Marcus Gasol, just because he's one of those cheaper centers that's going to see a lot of minutes. And then rest you can try to fill out there. You can go with some other cheap plays like Harkless or Van Vliet, Matthews, Isaac, Aminu, guys like that. So I think Westbrook and George are far and away the best plays on this slate, at least for me. So these are the 2 guys that I want. Probably going to be maxing out the $1 tournament again. I might possibly just put in Paul George in all 20 lineups because I just love this matchup, and the price for him is just way too cheap. Gonna have a lot of Westbrook, gonna have a lot of lineups with both of them. If I do have some Adams, probably try to not have like too many OKC guys. So if I'm having Schroder Adams, maybe take out Westbrook or George. But yeah, just try to really make sure that your lineups really make sense. Like I saw some lineups that it actually worked last time, like Millsap and Jokic, but usually those 2 guys don't really correlate together. Like Johnathan Isaac, Terrence Ross, some of these correlations, they don't really make a whole lot of sense. So that's not something that I really want to like play because it just isn't the right play. So really, I'm trying to think about it. Like I'd say probably another examples like Marcus Gasol, Serge Ibaka, Aaron Gordon, Nikola Vucevic. Guys like this, it just doesn't really make sense if you want to play them together because they don't correlate well. So Westbrook, George, again, my favorite plays on the slate. If you have any questions, please find me, DM me, tweet at me on our Twitter at Boffles. Link will be in the description below, or you can just straight up comment below on this video. And I'm happy to help. You can DM me. I'll respond as soon as I can. So good luck on this 3-game slate. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.